How's it going, everybody? Today's probably as good a day as any day to give you an update on what's going on with the project cars, because my goal in 2024 is to be way more on top of that for this channel, especially with the arrival of the Mustang. But first, I want to talk about the Montero, which it'd be a lovely time to be driving that truck. It's raining. We have a storm rolling in here in Southern California. But there's a problem. The Montero is in the shop. About a month ago, I was driving with my wife, my daughter, and my daughter's friends, heading to Arrowhead. There's a highway called 330. I was just about to start my way up, and it started making noise from the engine. I pulled over to turn out because it sounded really bad. Checked the dipstick, and it was dry. I think... I don't know what happened. I don't know if it wasn't, I don't think it was leaking oil, but I think maybe it was burning oil, and I'm usually on top of it, and I wasn't on top of it, and I had to be towed from way out near Arrowhead back here to Orange County, which wasn't fun. And that truck is getting diagnosed by a local, local repair shop that specializes in Mitsubishis. It's a person I've wanted to take my truck to for a while, Ozzy's Automotive, out near Downey, I think Bell Gardens. When I had the truck dropped off there were already 3 or 4 other Monteros, 2 Monteros on lifts. Anybody I know with the Montero says to go to Ozzy. So it's in good hands. He's going to get to it sometime next week, open it up, and tell me what the damage is. While it's there, I'm going to have him reseal the transfer case because I noticed that was leaking. But I got a nice billet case cover from my friends at Adventure Driven Design. This really nice piece that I've been wanting to put on. Now I have a reason. So I'm terrified to hear what the bill is going to be for that one, but I'm very curious to know what I did to that engine. But I do think that truck is worth fixing and keeping on the road because there's a lot invested in it, financially and mentally. So that truck means a lot to me, and I want to keep it that way. Now, the funny thing is, with the Mustang, I started making a list, as everybody does for builds. I thought I had to do that to get my mind right and figure out what I needed to do. I was going to start ripping things off this car. I was going to take the rear axle out. I was going to take the brake lines out. I was going to take the wiring out because I want to completely rewire this car because lights don't work, and I'd rather just start over because I watched a video where it seems pretty easy, and the kit for this car makes it make a lot of sense. And then I want to take the engine out and the transmission out. I want to strip this car down to the stuff I don't need so I can start thinking about and bolting in the stuff I do need. Eventually that'll include, front suspension, front brakes, so new hubs, because this will have to be a 5-lug car. That's going to need a new drive shaft to fit the new rear axle and assuming I'm going to go with a T5 transmission. So I just wanted to start getting stuff out of the way, getting stuff out of the garage. Some of it maybe I could sell, but I'm sure a bunch of this is just, at this point, crap. But I'll try to sell it. I won't just throw stuff away. So Mustang people are like, well, yeah, you could have just done this with that. But when the Montero went down, I was like, maybe I might have to drive this Mustang. So my buddy Derek and I were, first step, let's bleed the brakes. There is no brake fluid getting to the rear brake, so I think it's rusted inside the brake lines. The front brakes work okay, but they're drums, and just relying on just 2 front drums is less than ideal. I did fix the sloppy shifter bushing. The C4 is, I guess, notorious for that. I just put the 2 bushings in that I got from CJ Pony Parts, and it instantly fixed it. It feels so much better in there. So that was a quick, simple, easy fix. I swapped on a different steering wheel, just a cheapie from GT Performance, just to get something, because the one that's in there is cracked and gross, and just if I was going to drive it, I wanted something different. I guess still got to get the horn hub so that the wire is not just hanging out by itself, but there's a fresh steering wheel in there, and it looks good. And then the big hurdle for this car was I bought it without a title. And a few people are like, it's no problem. It's a 67 Mustang. You'll be able to get it taken care of, no problem. That would be true if the car previously existed in the state of California. Like if it had been a known quantity here. It hasn't. It's never been in California. It came from Tennessee. They're like, no, you need a title. But one DMV allowed me to register the car, just not title the car. So they said I needed a VIN verification and a title. I paid a service to come out, verify the VIN. That was quick and easy. I'm not driving it to the DMV. I didn't want to arrange to get it towed, so it was worth it to me to pay the $90 to have the guy come out, fill out a form, give me the form. So then I went to I tried calling the Tennessee DMV. They were initially helpful, but it comes down to like, you're not a resident of the state. There's not much we can do for you. Sorry. So I didn't know what to do. I was trapped a bit, but I wanted to just go the bonded title route. A bonded title, basically, you pay a bond company. They issue you a bond, and then you can go to the state of California and say, hey, I promise what I'm telling you about this car is true. This bond protects you in case I'm lying. But you can't just say you want to do that. You have to hit a few checkpoints on a form somewhere for them to go, yeah, okay, you qualify. And initially I had a backup plan. I was talking to my friend Zach Bowman, who lives in Tennessee. I was gonna try to sell him the car for $1, see if he could get it registered and issued a title in Tennessee somehow without having to ship the car there, which we would have had to play some song and dances. Like maybe he would have to have a friend in the police who would just be like, yeah, okay, the VIN's real, over photos. It's sketch. Like I wasn't trying to do anything illegal. I was just trying to find the least expensive way to do this, and then have him get a new title issued in Tennessee, then sell me the car with the title back for $1, and I'd be ready to go. That was like a last resort thing. So what I did do is I heard that the San Clemente DMV is like the cool DMV. It's like an older school building. It's kind of tucked out of the way. It's less crowded. I could look on the website and say, oh, the wait time right now with no appointment is 20 minutes. And I would drive down there and it'd be 20 minutes. It was sometimes less. So I went in, had a stack of paper. They called my number. I hand it to the lady behind the desk. And I start to speak. She goes, I know what you need. I'm like, oh, I start to, okay, I was taken aback. I start to say what I was going to say. She's like, no, trust me. Like, cuts me off. I know what you need. I've been doing this for years. Trust me. She's flipping through the forms. I was like, my heart starts to sink. I'm like, I'm screwed. This lady's not letting me get a word in. She's looking. She goes, all right, so Motor Trend bought this car from someone in Tennessee. They didn't get a title. They sold it to you here without a title. They shouldn't have sold it to you. It's like, okay, but, I assume the risk, knowing the risk. She's like, then the DMV in Laguna Niguel should never have let you, you shouldn't have got this far. They shouldn't have let you register the car. Then they charged you $220 to do so. It's like, oh, shit. I'm like, yeah, I'm just trying to get a bonded title. So I got the words in, and she's looking through the form. She's like, all right, I need to go talk to my supervisor. She disappears for like 10 minutes. She comes back. I see her holding this big, thick book. I see Tennessee written on a page. I was like, what the hell is going on? Then I see her talking to a different supervisor. I see the supervisor going, yes, no, yes, no. I was like, I'm screwed. I got to get rid of this car. She comes back. She goes, yeah, everything you have makes sense. Just get us the bonded title. Come back. My name's, she told me her name. She told me her boss's name. Come back to my window if you can. And then I was skipping. I was practically skipping out of there. So I go fill out a form. You can do it online. You just Google bonded title. Like 9 different companies come up that just exist to do this, and you can overnight it to you. It's notarized, it's signed, it's all this stuff. You just have to put your signature on this one DMV paper for whatever your DMV needs. So then I wait like a week because I was off shooting an episode of the Motor Trend show, and then I ordered it on a Friday. So even though it was overnighted, it arrived on like a Tuesday. Then I roll down back to the DMV. I was like, should I just go to her window? Or no, I wait in line. I got my ticket. I told the guy. He's like, well, you can try to get her attention and see if she'll serve you. Otherwise, when the ticket goes, you got to go that window. I'm like, all right. Take my chances. I go to a different window. This is kind of a dumb gamble, but I go. It's like, yeah, I said her name. Julie said to come back. Here's the forms. She goes, bonded title? Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Does a few things. Oh, I forgot to sign that one thing. Blah, 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 blah. All right, I'll be back with your plates. Like, blew my mind. She's like, title will arrive in 2 to 4 weeks. I was like, this is crazy. So I go home because I want to get a personalized plate now for this because I'm an idiot. And I'm going to do Nonwick, Nonwick, on the Legacy, the black and gold plates, because this is not John Wick's car. This thing's a piece of shit. Even though by the end of the movie, maybe they're the same quality. So for the first week, I'm trying to type it in, and it says plate and VIN not valid, plate and VIN. I'm like, shit, what's wrong? So I just wait. Because I'm like, she handed me the stuff because they have plates there, but it probably needs to go to Sacramento to get registered, and and then sure enough, probably about a week after the process, I just try again, and it goes through. It recognizes the car. It lets me order the plate. I think plates right now in California are taking like 4 to 6 months, so that plate's not gonna. I'm gonna one day something's gonna come in the mail. I'm like, oh, I forgot. Like it happened with my Benz plate when I had the '74 W114. The plate was a Benz, which is on the wall, and it still makes me laugh because it's such a stupid plate. But the car title is being processed in the mail. Legacy plates on their way. Montero in the shop. So now I'm still waiting. Do I start tearing this apart anyway because it's in the shop, or do I wait because the Montero is going to be a bit now and just kind of, I don't want to be that guy who relies on press cars to get around, but I do have a few scheduled out. I got the new Tacoma outside. I just had the Nismo Z. What else do I have coming up? Next week I have a GLS 63, so I'm not hurting for press cars at the moment. And then I think I have the GLS Maybach after that. So there's a few things. I could always probably dip down to Auto Trader, Kelly Blue Book, and pick something out of that press fleet if I need to. So, and then we have my wife's CX-5 as well. So yeah, that's where we're at on the Mustang. I'm reaching out to some friends to see what I can do about parts because I never want to be the journalist who asks for free stuff, but if I can create content with it, I'd like to do that, or at least get discounts on things to create the content. So I'm just seeing what my options are there. I've had some people say, yeah, we can do some stuff. So there could be some cool parts going on this car, but I won't know yet. I'm really waiting to see what the shop says about the Montero, what that bill is going to be. I'm holding off on doing some things, waiting to hear that number come in. When it comes in, I'll tell you, and when I get the Montero back, we'll do a full update because I'm long overdue on doing a proper driving update video with that truck. And then I get to get some more shots of doing stuff with this car, and so it's not just sitting here as the paperweight / storage tray that it currently is. I want to get this thing will happen this year is my goal. And it should be easily doable. It's an old Mustang. I've looked on OfferUp and Craigslist. I found rear axles for $400. I found transmissions for $500. I'm not saying they're in perfect shape, but it's the listings are, just here's an axle. I mean, it's an axle. So, and then you can upgrade from there what you put on it. And a T5 transmission is so much more affordable than obviously a T56. So we'll figure these things out. I did write the list. It's in there somewhere, but the big news is I got it plated and titled. So the DMV hurdle is over. So stay tuned for more updates on both vehicles. And then for anybody who asked about the wagon, it does still exist. I have no news on it. So I don't know what to tell you.